Hey everyone, it is Monday. That means it's time for my weekly draft video. We're doing more Eldritch Moon this week. I'll see you guys when the first pack opens. Okay, let's see what we have. Wow, Tamio, that's... This is an interesting pick. How much is Tamio worth? Because the Docent is obviously better, but Tamio is worth almost 6 tickets right now. So this sort of comes down to, do I want the card that's just better, like the better card? I mean, Tamio, if she were monocolored, she'd be maybe even better than the Docent, but the Docent's one of the biggest bombs in the format. Savage Alliance is also very, very good. There's no guaranteeing I could even play her, but the fact that she pays for almost 2 packs is, well, I guess she pays for a pack and the entry fee, is pretty relevant. I've mentioned in the past that money drafting is a good way to make sure that you can keep drafting and keep getting better. And I think I'm going to have to take Tamio over the Docent, and we can try to make her work. If she doesn't, though, we need to just be prepared. I mean, we need to be prepared for that possibility. But because she's worth as much as she is, I think we should take her over the Docent, who is definitely the better card. So let's see what happens. Okay. Nebelgast Herald I like. Shrill Howler I like. Hey, those are both in Tamio's colors. Wretched Griff I also like. So, those are the cards I'm looking at. None of the other cards... Well, there's Galvanic Bombardment, actually. So, overlooked that. I think I probably should take it, which is not in one of Tamio's colors. But I think Galvanic Bombardment's better than either of these. Yeah, I think we take it. Too good of a removal spell to pass it. So, we'll see. I mean, if it's very hard to run 4 colors in this format. You can do 3 okay, but yeah, I mean, I guess I'll put her over here for now, and if we happen to end up in Bant, then she could work for us. But she may not, we may not, and we probably won't even. So, but generally for me, like, if a card's worth, like, 5 tickets or more, it's pretty hard not to take it when you're drafting, because it's just so much, it really adds to the value of the draft. Okay, so Haunted Dead, another very good card that's in a color that is not Tamio's color. There's also a Sigardian Priest, and I think that's even better probably than Haunted Dead, which is kind of crazy, but I think it's one of the best commons in the format, so I think that's what we take here. Cards like Backwoods Survivalist, Ironclad Slayer is okay. Really, the best cards in this pack are probably Haunted Dead, Sigardian Priest, and Backwoods Survivalist. So it's not the deepest pack ever, but we'll take the Priest here. Maybe we go red-white. We'll just have to see. We did pass to our left the first pickable red card, that card with Escalate. So there's a chance the person to our left is red. Or blue. They probably took the Docent over that. They're probably wondering what the hell I took. I've definitely gotten packs like that before, and the answer is usually that they opened up a mythic that's worth some cash money. Okay, so Ruthless Disposal I like. Lupine Prototype's an interesting card, but I don't think we want Thermo Alchemist. Red doesn't really seem super open, so hey, maybe we do end up in a Sigardian Priest deck. Thraben Foulbloods is fine, but I think Ruthless Disposal is probably my favorite card here. Lupine Prototype is better than it looks, so it's also worth considering. But I'm leaning towards Ruthless Disposal here. Yeah, that's what we'll take. Take the big removal spell. Could take a Ska, but I think the removal spell is just better. Okay, well, we could just take the boring Dawn Griff. That's probably what we're going to take here. Graph Rats, if I had a few of the guys who it melds with, I would probably take it. Or one of, even. I might think about taking it. I think we just take Dawn Griff here. I like it more than Weirded Vampire. It's nothing super exciting, but it's definitely a fine card. So... Red does not seem very open. So do we even play either of these cards? Our first 2 picks. I don't know that we do. Okay. Well, Rise from the Grave is fine. It's definitely better if we had some scary creatures. Weirded Vampires, fine. Fiendbinder, same boat. None of the cards in this pack are super exciting, but they are playable. So, I mean, all three of these are playable cards, so that part I feel good about. If we're going to be like an aggressive deck, Fiendbinder does get to be pretty good. So far, it's not clear that's what we're going to be. Weirded Vampires, just, you know, a decent card. And White actually does, it's interesting. White has ways of discarding things, but they don't have a whole lot of, they don't have any Madness. So it does actually pair decently with Madness cards. So I think I'll take the Vampire here. Okay, well, Steadfast Cathar is a solid little 2-drop. Now it does look like we're sort of warping into a more aggressive deck. Gavony Unhallowed is a pretty good card for Black-White. Black-White has lots of ways, like it makes creature tokens, they die, etc. The question is it better than Steadfast Cathar? Faithbearer Paladin's better than it looks as well, but these two cards I think are both better than it is. So this thing is basically a 2/3 when it's attacking. Or we could take a dude who's just... I think we're probably going to go with the Unhallowed. I think he just has more upside. We're not desperate for 2-drops just yet. We might get that way, but we're not there yet. Okay, so Delirium is actually another route this deck can go in, potentially. And Wailing Ghoul can help with that. I'm going to take the Dusk Feaster and see if we can try to hit Delirium. Ruthless Disposal helps us do it. And Dusk Feaster is a pretty good card with Delirium if you can actually cast it for that amount. Okay, Borrowed Malevolence is a decent card. There's lots of creatures with 1 toughness in this format, so it has plenty of targets. So I think I'll take Borrowed Malevolence here. Poor Tamio. I'm sorry, you're in my sideboard. All right, well, we'll happily take this guy this late. I mean, you know, this is a really good Delirium Enabler if we were green, but we're not, so. This doesn't deserve to be played unless we can easily get Delirium, which at this point isn't entirely clear. Cemetery Recruitment, we have 1 zombie so far. We might pick up some more, and then we also have Repel the Abominable. We have the same sort of problem. We have some humans, might pick up some more. I think Cemetery Recruitment is just more playable more frequently, so like if we have 6 or 7 zombies, it's probably worth playing it. But, you know, we're not in the super zombie-y colors, so it's not clear that we will. So, we want to get Delirium to really enable this card. Well, I'll take this now. I think it's better than being around this late. I'm happy to take him now. I mean, you know, you have to empty your hand for him to do anything, but if you just hold on to him for a while, he's like a really efficient 2-drop in the later part of the game. This can actually help us get Delirium. I don't know if we're going to run it. I don't love it. And Long Road Home, sure. If we end up with several creatures with Enter the Battlefield abilities, it could be decent, but right now we have 0, so, yeah, you're when it attacks. Ooh. Wow, I lucked out there. I took 1 mythic that I can't play, and now I'm getting another one that I can play, who's also worth a lot of money, and that's definitely what we take here. She may be the best rare in the format. She's pretty high up. Wouldn't mind Certain Death wheeling, even Courageous Outrider wheeling. Guardian of Pilgrims is fine too. So we have plenty of options when this comes back to us. Assembled Alphas is good too, and Clear Shot's very good, but Giselle's better than all of them, and she's in our colors anyway, so we're just going to take her happily. Maybe we'll get past Bruna. I doubt it, but, you know. We have the harder part to get. Here it is. Gisela. Boom of Emrakul probably here, right? Wailing Ghoul can help you get Delirium, but Boon of Emrakul is removal, and we don't have a whole lot of that going on yet. So I think we take the Boon. Also helps you get Delirium in a way, because it'll throw itself in the graveyard. So, you know, it doesn't quite as good at helping you as Wailing Ghoul, but it's decent enough at it. And it's just a better card in a vacuum anyway. Yeah. Okay, so Lone Rider. We do have some ways of gaining life, but I don't really think we have enough. There's also Blessed Alliance and Spectral Reserves. I think I probably want the Alliance. It's a pretty good card. It's early enough in the format that I don't think everyone plays around it yet. And I do like Spectral Reserves, but I think the Alliance is just better. Now, if this Lone Rider comes back, we might want to think about taking it. We have 2 different ways of gaining enough life now. Gisela hitting something in Blessed Alliance. That Lone Rider is not looking terrible. So what else do we have here? Nothing else we really want. It's really just between those two cards, and we'll take the removal. Ooh, Extricator of Sin helps you get Delirium, and he likes Delirium. He lets you sacrifice a permanent. Terrarion can also help us get Delirium. But there's also another Boon of Emrakul. Man. That's a hard choice. We're not going to be able to get... Like, right now, our deck's not getting Delirium very consistently. So, Extricator of Sin won't usually flip, but he might... But the Boon is just a good removal spell, and I think we just go for that. Plus, we don't want it to be used on our Gisela. That would be ugly. So we'll take it. It's a good removal spell. Come on board. Okay, here's a Midnight Scavengers. Right now, I don't have a ton of targets for it, but it is a good card. I like it more than Ironclad Slayer, although we have 2 Boons of Emrakul. Gets a little better when you're doing that. We may even pick up a Deadweight, at which point Ironclad Slayer starts to be pretty attractive. Right now, he just gets us back our boons. The Scavengers, though, can really only get us back 3 cards. So, do I just want the more aggressive drop? I don't have Graph Rats. It's probably too late for me to assemble. I mean, maybe I could get 1 of each. That is a possibility. But I'm kind of liking the idea of a Slayer with 2 boons. I think I'm going to go for the Slayer. I am not guaranteeing that that's the correct pick, but it seems like a pretty nice little combo to have. Stromkirk Condemned, huh? It's just a 2-mana 2/2 with a tiny, tiny bit of upside in our deck. That's not easy to cast because it's double black. We do have 1 other Vampire, so who it can also power out. Smoldering Werewolf, kind of shocked to see around the slate. That's a good card. Quite a good card. I've even had packs where I think it was right to pick it first. Condemned. You're not worth anything, are you? Vampires aren't really doing anything in Constructed. No. So I could go for a Fiend Binder. I guess that's just what I go with. The Condemned is going to be too difficult for us to cast regularly. Oath of Liliana isn't terrible. Another card that wants us to get Delirium. This one is basically just a blocker until you get Delirium. Oath of Liliana is another like sacrifice spell, which isn't great, but it is like playable, I think. We do have a Planeswalker. We're just not going to play her, so that's sad. Yeah, I think it's just the Oath. It's another enchantment too, so if we find ways to mill ourselves, it'll be pretty good. Right now, I'm probably not playing Duskfeaster. I don't have enough ways to get Delirium. Like, Ruthless Disposal helps a little. Well, I did not get a lot of creature tokens, but I could pick some up later, and this might be worth it. Prying Questions is terrible, and Faithbearer Paladin is, like, fine, but I think the potential upside of taking this is worth it enough that I'm gonna go for it. So we got Courageous Outrider. So white is open. I'm glad we're in it. Guardian of the Pilgrims does give us a 2-drop, which is something we kind of need. Courageous Outrider can hit a lot of our creatures, though, can't it? It can hit Fiendbinder, Ironclad Slayer, Steadfast Cathar, and Sigardian Priest, and that's basically plenty. Like now, I mean, it's a 4-mana 3/4 that draws us a card a decent amount of the time. But this is a 2-drop, which is worth thinking about. But I think I'm actually going to go for the Outrider. I don't really want either of these cards, but I'll take this one. Okay, good. Spectral Reserves. That goes well with our campaign. Too bad that Lone Outrider didn't come back to us. We could take Terrarion. I'm not going to play Succumb, and Terrarion might make it if we really decide we want to go the Delirium route so that we can play Duskfeaster at its best. I'll take the playable sideboard card away from someone, and another Lunarch Mantle. And a decent sideboard card for us, at least. It sucks at its sorcery speed, but hey, you can't have it all. But yeah, we definitely need more cards like Spectral Reserves to really make this playable. There are a few cards, like we could get Gisa's Bidding, and we could get the White Vessel, and then that would make this a lot more playable. But we'll just have to see. We got to pick up enough counters. So I like our removal for the most part. The 2 boons, the Ruthless Disposal, the Blessed Alliance. Those are all things I feel pretty good about. Call the Bloodline is a pretty strong little card. Another way for us to gain life, if that's what we want to be doing. There's also a Thraben Inspector, which I like. Spectral Shepherd is just basically Windrake in this deck. Rancid Rats is fine. So Call the Bloodline can help us get Delirium. It also helped. We don't have any. We have one card with Madness right now. It also, is just a good card in general. So it's worth thinking about it instead of Thraben Inspector. It also works well with Lupine Prototype, it's worth noting. So there's some synergy to be had there. I think we probably take Call the Bloodline. I mean, if this pack isn't especially strong, like Call the Bloodline versus Rancid Rats and Thraben Inspector, I think Call the Bloodline just comes out first, followed by Thraben Inspector and then Rancid Rats. So, this pack isn't really very strong for anybody. So we'll go ahead and take Call the Bloodline. Ooh, hello there. Another way to gain life. There's a removal spell here too, but I think we're probably okay with not picking that one up. There's another one right here. From Under the Floorboards is too good to say no to, I think. Also works well with Campaign of Vengeance should we run it. And it's another Madness card, so that might happen. I wouldn't mind the Ghoul Caller's Accomplice coming back to us. This is sort of... Let's just move this to over here for now, because right now I don't think we're playing it, but we could. Call the Bloodline, I guess if it gets milled. Oh, no, it's Aura or Equipment. Ooh. Nearheath Chaplain. Man, we should have taken that that flip guy that becomes It That Rides as one, because we have gotten basically all the life gain you could ever hope for. I like Harvest Hand too. It's about the only other card in this pack that I would consider. Nearheath Chaplain's just too much better. We definitely need to lower our curve though. We are in serious... Our curve is a little too high. We have an Indulgent Aristocrat here, and we do have a couple vampires if we play this other one. But I don't think that's reason enough to take it. Don't want Open the Armory either, even though it can find me a removal spell. Don't want Stromkirk Mentor. Might just be Macabre Waltz, sadly. I'm probably not going to play whatever I pick here. I mean, I guess at least he can pump himself, too, and he has lifelink. Oh, we do have Call the Bloodline, actually. Yeah, I think that's enough upside to take him. Wow, Bygone Bishop now, too. And sadly enough, we don't actually have that many ways of making clues with him yet. Hopefully we can pick some up, but we'll take him. I mean, he's still a 3-mana 2/3. Yeah, that's what we'll take here. Not much else for us here anyway. Apothecary Geist I like. Stern Constable not so much. And Emissary of the Sleepless I like. I think we probably just want the Geist, which is yet another way for us to gain life, incidentally. Yeah, I think that's what we do. We have way too many 4-drops, though. I'm not loving it. Neglected Heirloom's an okay little card. Don't think we want another 4. I mean, I guess maybe we can cut Fiendbinder. Probably our worst 4. Yeah, it's probably the case. But I think Inquisitor's Ox is worse than all the rest of them. Don't like Count of the Farbogs a whole lot. Vessel's an okay sideboard card. I think I'm going to take the Heirloom. Not sure we play it, but we might. Okay, Unruly Mob. There we go. There's a low drop who will work okay in our deck. So we have Call the Bloodline now, which does make me at least think about trying to bring this back into our deck. So I think we just take Spectral Shepherd here, another flyer, another low drop, which is something we need. So don't think we're going to be getting Delirium, which means we probably don't want Terrarion. Yeah, wow. This was definitely an It That Rides as one deck. Unfortunately, we did not pick him up. Cathar's Companion is an okay card. We do have a decent number of spells that can make him indestructible. So he's worth thinking about. He also works with Bygone Bishop. Silver Strike is situational removal, but it does kill basically anything. I think I take it over that. Hey, we got one anyway, so now I'm glad I did that. So I think Gavony Unhallowed may be out as well, and you are too, probably. I entertained the idea briefly, but okay. You are as well. So we really only need to cut one more card. Borrowed Malevolence may just move to our sideboard now. I think that is what happens. Wow, Press for Answers is good, you guys. String Constable is not. I think this is probably just our deck. Our curve got a little better there at the end. So that's good. That is good. I do not want this screen. This is the one I want. There we go. All right. So, yeah, man. Like, if we'd gotten It That Rides as 1, how many different ways do we have of gaining 3 or more life? 1. I'm just curious. Just an experiment. 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess that's it. But that's still plenty. I think I would have taken It That Rides as 1 if you'd told me I was going to get 5 ways to gain life. Plus, it can gain 1 life itself, and it has First Strike, so I actually could have just cast Spectral Reserves, gained the life, and then attacked with it, and then it would have transformed. But that's okay. Yeah, I think this is our deck pretty much. I think we turned it down. I don't think we're getting Delirium consistently enough for Dusk Feaster. Gavony Unhallowed hurts to cut, but we just have so many 4s. Well, in this deck, actually, I think that's better. The Gavony Unhallowed is going to be better than the Vampire. So scratch that. We do have 1 4-drop that's worse. We didn't end up with enough zombies for that. This is our only real zombie. We ended up being mostly white with, some good black cards scattered around. So it's not too bad. All right, well, I think this is our deck. I need to add lands. Yeah, so yeah, we don't need a whole lot of swamps, but we definitely need a decent number of them. I think we go 10-7. We do have double black, too. Do we want Terrarion? It might just be better to go 9-8. 10-7 is probably okay, though. This is a 5-drop. I need to be able to play all these things early. If I don't get the white, I'm going to be really frustrated, so. All right, and we're going with a Lupine prototype. Our deck, I think, can empty its hand well enough for him to be worth it. We have Call the Bloodline as well, so I think he's probably worth it. We have a lot of 4s, but we can discard cards with that. So hopefully we'll be able to empty our hands. We'll see how it goes. I haven't drafted one yet. I know it's worked out for some people, though. Anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the first match. Where the hell did this go?